It's on. Hey,
Woo!
good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back in the building, man. What the Healthy Happy Show. I'm here going through The Alchemist, man, by Paulo Coelho. If you don't have the book yet, shame on you. But we are going to continue to move forward, man, and go through this thing. And I said that there's a difference between reading for entertainment and actually studying. And so we're actually studying. We're extracting all that we can from this book and really getting all the meat that we can from the wonderful, wonderful richness that this book has to provide. I'm your host, ERGJ, certified financial educator, and so much more. And we have Mr. Beatles in the building.
Wealthy, healthy, happy people. What's going on? This is Mr. Beatles, Mr. Wealthy, Healthy, Happy, your financial planner and small business developer. What's happening today? It's Tuesday, man. It's Tuesday, and
we are rocking and rolling, man. And so we have been tracking along in The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's been an absolute blessing to continue to follow the journey of Santiago. Yes, hey, Sabrina, thanks so much for joining. Hopefully you can have some input in our conversation today. And we get to a place today, really want to just kind of recap yesterday. Santiago was in the midst of talking about favorability and taking advantage of the omens and taking advantage of beginner's luck. Because what he had done was he's now into this place of Strangeland, and he is helping the merchant, or he is a blessing to the merchant in the sense he's helping this merchant. And since he has arrived, the business has started to take off again. And he's brought one new idea. And we're going to get to a place now where he's bringing multiple ideas. He's called it recognizing the omens. And that's one thing for us. And we'll talk about that today is, do we recognize opportunity when it's there? And are we riding the wave of momentum that may show up in our life? I mean, I know this show is taking us to some momentums, and we're just going to continue along with the story. So Santiago is now at the crystal shop. He's working there. Last time we heard from him, he said, hey, this is not something I can do forever. This is not something that's going to make me happy, but he knew it was something that could help sustain him, and it can help him make a living while he works his way to getting back on track to journeying towards his treasure. His treasure is in Egypt. He is now in this land called Tangier. It is his personal journey. And feel free to jump into a seat if you want, Sabrina. I know that it looks like you may be new to Blab. So he's on his personal journey, his personal legend to find his treasure. And he's journeying from where he was, his comfortable place, his known place, into a place that's unknown. Which is, he's never been to Egypt, but one of his goals, one of his passions, one of his pursuits in life is to be a traveler. So he has to travel to unknown places. And so he found himself in his unknown place. So where we pick up in the story is on his journey is that he's now in Tangier. He's working for the crystal maker. And so, last time he said that he wasn't happy in his work, and now we're getting to a place where he's saying, hey, I'm happy doing this. Like he's finding joy in what he's doing now because he's really getting good at it. He's learning maybe something new. But I will also say, as we read through this section of it, that he's starting to lose sight of his dream. He's getting caught up in his work, and he's actually thinking more about buying more sheep and going back to Spain. More so than he is thinking about moving forward to Egypt at this point in time in the story. So Santiago, we're on pages 57 through 61. We just, if you ever join us, you can always join us early to listen to the clip because we realize this early. You might want to listen to the clip to get your thoughts together. But right now, business is booming. And Santiago has actually constructed another plan. He comes across, some men climb the hill and they're thirsty. They're like, man, we wish we could find something to drink. And so Santiago recognizes that as an opportunity that they can actually sell tea in the crystal glasses and offer them to people as they climb the hill to quench their thirst and to bring a sparkle to the eye about the crystal glasses that they sell. And so he presents this idea to the merchant. And again, it's a big it's very interesting, their relationship, and their different insights or perspectives on life. This older merchant and Santiago seems to be very ambitious. Santiago seems to be a guy that's like, man, let's get it. You know, he has a plan. He has something that he's looking to accomplish. He has something he wants to do, and he is just continuing to think of all these ways in which he can do it. Now he's transitioned from thinking about his treasure to just thinking about going back home. And so his new plan, it seems, is, oh, I want to go and buy some more sheep and go back to doing what I know that I can do. And so now he's working hard to, he's kind of, that's what he wants, so to speak. But we'll kind of find out throughout the story that it's not really his desire in his heart, but that's what I think that's what intellectually he can think about doing, because that's what he knows. And how easy is it for you guys to always go back to what you already know? I know for me, for example, it's easy for me to go back and get the job that I had because it's already know that's what I already know. That's comfortable. That's easy for me to do. If I ever found myself in a place that I don't know. If I ever wanted to just go back, I could always go back. Mr. Beatles?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There were all right. So for me, there were a few things. There were a few themes that stuck out to me today, and as I was writing up the blog this morning, the first thing that came out to me was out of necessity, invention is born. And we a few pages back, we saw how failure and defeat for Santiago actually fueled an opportunity for him to recreate himself. And he hadn't realized what he thought is that he would continue to journey along as a shepherd boy. And him and his sheep had this bond, and it was becoming routine for him. And so what his personal legend caused to happen was the sheep disappeared, right? The sheep were stolen. And it caused him to now rethink the way that he approached life, change the way that he did a few things. And out of that, what did I say? And out of that, what he found, out of failure and defeat, he became a business consultant, and he became a business consultant with SMART goals. So on 56, he was like, man, not only have I learned about crystal, but I know that in 6 months, if we continue to work the way that we're working, if we continue to develop the business, I'll not only have enough money to buy the sheep that I had, the 60 that I had, but I can also buy 60 more at the same time. Not only that, I've also learned a new language. So I'm sharing with you that there are going to be times, there are going to be challenges and trials in your life, but a lot of times what is really happening is that it's making you uncomfortable so that you can remember your personal legend. So pay attention to the omens in your life. What I mean? What are your sheep, and what stuff is moving out of your life so it can make room for the stuff that God
absolutely. So what is paying attention to omens, recognizing opportunity? What are some things that you may need to let go of at this point in your life? What are the omens telling you that it's time to move on from? Because I think that's where Santiago finds himself, in this struggle or conflict in his mind of, man, is it time to really move forward in life? Don't get stuck. And it's interesting. I want to say that, don't get stuck, because we find the merchant seems to be getting stuck, and we find Santiago saying, hey, I don't want to get stuck. You know what I mean? Like the merchant said, and the merchant does a place. I'm old. I've been doing this for 30 years. I know all this. And now he's saying, with this new idea, like, man, if I take on this new idea, I know it's a good idea. I know it's going to help our business to grow and be more prosperous. And I don't want that, because that's going to cause me to change the way that I do things. Success is going to cause me to change the way that I do things, and I don't want to change. And we got to ask ourselves, man, like, are we really ready for success? And will we embrace success? Because with success comes change. Like, the busier that you are, the more you have to do to be prepared for the busyness. The more productive that things are, the more that you have to be prepared for productiveness. And so the merchant is like, I don't know if I'm ready for all of these customers that come in the door. And nope. And I got a business. I own this business, and the whole point of the business is to be profitable. But I don't know if I want to be that profitable. I don't know if I want to be that busy. I don't know if I want to be that known. I don't know if I want to expand and grow like that. You know, it's like, oh, well, we know that we should grow, but I don't want to grow that big. I don't want to grow that much. Matter of fact, I don't even want to grow. I just want it to be, I want the same 5 customers to come to my store every day.
I just want to be right where I'm at.
And I want them to come every week, and I just want the same 5 people to come, and that's it. And that is really how some people think. That is how some people operate. They operate in the vein of just enough. And I think that although the merchant may want more, he doesn't really want to take on more responsibility to have more in his mind, in his makeup. He may want more. I mean, I just can't imagine, because what he said was when he envisioned his business, when he envisioned what he had, he actually has exactly what he wanted. He had the size of his business is exactly the size that he had always wanted it to be. And now that someone had come into his life to show him even more possibilities, he was saying that that is a blessing that could become a curse, because now he's able to really see possibilities that he never explored. He could see that he has much more in him or much more to him that he's not quite ready, willing to explore. And that can make him even more disappointed.
Well, you see, the merchant is, what we see about them, what we start finding out about the merchant is that the merchant lives in his head a lot, right? And he's always imagining the downside of a situation before it even happens. And so he plays the whole thing out in his mind, and it doesn't go the way it doesn't, and it's not favorable for him. And as a result, he decides that, you know what, before I fail, before I get a headache, before the crystals break, let's just keep everything where it is right now, because it's been working. I'm making a decent living. This is my fate. And as fate have it, I'm just going to be comfortable. I'm just going to be average. I'm going to be real regular in life. But somebody comes along, somebody with a little vision comes along, and you have Santiago, who is looking at all the possibilities. Again, necessity invents out of necessity, invention is born. And there's a change that happens. So again, you may not necessarily be battling people that are outside in your network, but it may be the 2 people that are inside of you, right? You might have the merchant with the pessimistic view, and then you also have the optimist that's also inside of you as well, that's saying, you know what, I do want to do a little bit better. I do want to write that book. I do want to start that website. I do want to blog. And the other side of you is saying, well, the last time that, we put out our newsletter in 86, nobody really read it. And when you put out your website last year, you didn't get any traffic. So why? Let's stay on the job. Let's do what we do best. Let's get the consistent paycheck coming in, and we'll retire at 65. We tell ourselves that story, right? And so it's not necessarily the environment that we're fighting with. It's us. It's our own conditioning. It's the experiences that we've lived and that are convincing us now that comfort is okay. And comfort becomes the killer. Comfort becomes the reason why you procrastinate. And I just wrote a blog. I just wrote a blog on that as well about deal with it or ditch it. And you have these personal omens that show up in your life, and they're causing you to act. They're calling you to act. And what tends to happen is that we ditch the idea of doing it because it's too uncomfortable. You got to be more comfortable with taking the action. You have to be comfortable with the change, because the change is constant, and we want the change, but we don't know how to accept the change. I'm saying that the way that you accept change is Just
Yeah,
go
and
with the
going with the
flow.
flow, man. And when we talk about change, what we're talking about is growth. I mean, because you can't grow if you don't change. And personally, I can't think of much things that's much worse than not growing. Because when you stop growing, you really start dying at the end of the day. Um, and it's just interesting to me that again, we're talking about a businessman. We're talking about a man that at one point in time in his life had a thriving business, and then now he's settled into a place where he just has a surviving business, and now he has a young lad that comes into his life that brings fresh ideas, new perspective that can help his business thrive again, and he's recognizing that the business is starting to thrive, and he's saying to himself um, that I don't know how to deal with change. I don't know how to deal with change. Even though, he does accept the offer. He says, "Hey, let's go ahead and do it. Let's sell the tea." He said, "Hey, we'll go ahead and do the glass thing. We'll go ahead and do the tea thing." And but he is saying that I'm uncomfortable with dealing with change, and even though, like you said, that change is constant. And so, how many of us, ask yourself as you're reading through the story and as you are going through life, am I more like Santiago, that I'm the optimist, that I'm looking at the possibilities, that I'm recognizing the opportunities, that I'm understanding the omens, and I'm going towards my treasure? Or am I like the merchant? Am I set in my ways? Do I think that I know everything? Because he was saying, "Hey, I know crystal. I know this. I know this. I know this. I know what's going to happen. And because I know what's going to happen, I don't want to do it." Are you more of the "I know" person? Are you more of the "this is just okay with me" person? Are you the person that's saying that, "Hey, I know change is necessary, but I don't know how to deal with change, so I don't want to change. I don't want to grow." I mean, and it's so, and that could be a statement that you have. I don't want to grow. And some of us are go-getters. Some of us are people that are saying, "Hey, no matter what, I'm going to accomplish that which it is that I want to accomplish. I have a worthy ideal. I am making progress towards that worthy ideal." As a matter of fact, I would wonder, for the merchant, what is his worthy ideal? I mean, and it's almost as if the merchant is at a place in life where he feels like, "I have arrived at my destination. I don't have anything else that I have to go after or go toward. I
I don't
have
know.
what I have wanted in life. I now have, and that's life for me."
Well, the merchant is starting to, because of Santiago, because of his fire. The merchant really, I think, all along he has
Yeah,
always wanted to go to Mecca, just like the story that he told Santiago when he first met him. And so we don't forget our big idea, the thing that we really
absolutely
wanted to
not.
do in life. We don't forget
Yeah,
about it. We just bury it, right? We bury it and it becomes something
and
else. And
and
so
this is
it was
almost what's
very
about to happen to
another,
Santiago. He's almost about to. And think about this, Mr.
yeah.
Beagles. I'm sorry to cut you off. Um, Santiago, like you just said, we don't forget our personal legend. We don't forget our big dream. We don't forget our definite major purpose. We don't forget the things that we really want to and need to accomplish in life. We just bury it under life and under the way
Right.
things are. And Santiago, because of who he is connected to you, that's why you got to watch your associations. He is almost to the point where he's about to forget his big dream. And so while the merchant is becoming a little bit more like
Mm.
Santiago, at the same time, Santiago is becoming a little bit more like the merchant.
So the merchant is almost becoming the
Absolutely.
sheep for Santiago again, right? Where he knows the routine, he's comfortable, he's having some success, and he's starting to forget his personal legend. And he wakes up early that morning, and he looks at his he digs in his pocket and he realizes, man, I got enough money to buy not only the 60, but I got enough to buy 120 sheep. So I can be much more comfortable than I was before I started. Not only that, I also have a ticket to where I can get back to Spain. And guess what? I also know a language as well. I'm feeling pretty
So,
good about myself right now. And so Yeah. So as he's thinking about all this, he's saying, man, I got the opportunity. I can really follow my personal legend right now. But he also remembers the jacket. He said, man, I really should get his jacket away. That's that one thing that we hold on to. It's kind of like Linus's blanket, right? In Charlie Brown. It's that one thing that we hold on to that keeps us comfortable. So in the event that it all goes wrong, we can always go back to what made us feel good. And so he was like, man, maybe I should get this jacket away. Maybe I should get this one last thing away. And as he's thinking about it, another sign from Thummim and Urim, the two stones that are that the old man gave him, show up again, saying, follow your personal legend. So there's something that is prompting you and prodding you right now to follow your personal legend. And you got to trust it. We got to trust it. We got to do a better job of trusting our gut instinct, because our gifts can be our talents can be a gift.
And that comes down to whether we are going to use them to follow our personal legend or we're not. And so I think the good question to ask and good thing to ponder on is, and maybe you may be at this point in life, or you may have experienced this in your life, but have you allowed the success that you have quite possibly at your job or in some vocation or something that you've done, have you allowed that success to keep you from continuing along your journey of your personal legend, whatever that is? Because sometimes we can allow the job, we can allow life, we can allow our obligations or responsibilities to blind us from the things that we always wanted to go after. And we find that the merchant is at a place where he's like, I should go to Mecca, but I'm probably never going to go, because now I've gotten to a place in life where even no matter how many people I've seen go to Mecca, no matter the dream that I have to fulfill this obligation that I feel like I have, it's just not going to happen because I don't want to change. I've carved out, I've created this life that I live now, and it's going to cause me to change to be more creative in order for me to fulfill the obligation that I say that I should do. So I'm more comfortable just dreaming about it. Santiago's in a place where he's like, hey, I have this treasure, I have this place that I have to go, and I've got to find a way to get there. And he's being influenced almost to a point where he's like, man, I finally get back on my feet. And now that I'm back on my feet, I'm almost getting to a place where I'm about to get stuck with just being back on my feet. I'm going to get stuck with just having enough. And the dream or the goal has shifted a little bit for Santiago. It shifted from go after my treasure at this point in time in the story to go back to Spain, buy some more sheep, and live be an even more prosperous shepherd. And that's where he came from. So he's almost right. Like, I'm making progress. I bumped into a little situation, and now I'm getting back to ground zero. And this is the same thing. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? So Santiago, Santiago is dealing with something. I really like the merchant's character though. And the reason why I like the merchant is because he has this dynamic to him where he's been comfortable, right? But because the dream never left, and Santiago is selling him on the hopes and the new possibilities, he doesn't say, he's not so stuck in this situation that he says no and closes the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's still conscious enough. He's still aware enough that there is this hope. There is this dream out there that if he just says yes, if he just says, all right, look, I'm going to trust this situation. I see the possibility. I'm just going to go with it. It wasn't my idea, but it's a good enough idea that I'll just go with it. And as he goes with it, he gets a little bit more confident each time that he sees success. And you see the transition. And now you see him going from having the crystal inside to outside. You see him going from, a little bit of business to now they're selling crystal and tea. Then they go from crystal and tea to now all of a sudden he's got to hire 2 more people to run the shop. All because he said yes. Not necessarily because he created any of this, but he just said, you know what? I'm going to allow the universe to give me the answers. I'm gonna be that bold, that brave, that I'm gonna just say, you know what?
And think about where he got this answer from, though, right? So when we say that he is allowing the universe to give him an answer, where he is allowing the answer to come from is not really from his own thoughts. Where he's allowing the answer to come from is in his prayer time, in his meditation time. And so he comes back to Santiago. He doesn't say yes. He just says Maktub. And Maktub says it is written. So it is written comes from his faith, his Muslim faith, and what the universe or what his God has spoke to him like, okay, it's time to move forward. It's time for you to allow me to bless you even more. How many of us, man, are in places in our lives where we are not allowing God or allowing the universe or allowing our faith, whoever it is that we believe in, to even bless us? Right. Like this is, you know what I'm saying? He has created this business. He is in this business. And now there's some things that are in motion, and his higher power is bringing more success right at his front door without him even knocking. But because he's a devout man. He's a man that does all of the things. You know, he's praying 5 times a day. He's going around. The only thing he hasn't completed is going to Mecca. So he's a devout guy. He does his prayer, and his prayers are being answered, even though he doesn't necessarily want them to be answered. and it's funny, but he is still saying it. Maktub, it is written. So this must happen. And I think it's not just because of his business. I think he's doing it more so because of Santiago. He's doing it more so to really help Santiago get along with his journey, more so than it is I'm thinking about my journey. Because when he thinks about his journey, he doesn't want anything else. But I don't think that he can. I'm just imagining myself being him and this young guy coming to my life, ambitious, that's trying to get to Egypt, and I be the one that keeps him from doing it because I don't want to change. So I think that because of this, I feel very weird about that. So I think that because of the energy and because of the desire of this young man coming into his life, he's willing to change for the young man, not necessarily changing for himself. Because if he was changing for himself, he would have done it a long time ago. But he's willing to change. Yes,
fire is infection. Yeah, fire is infectious, man. And when somebody's on fire, man, sometimes you just got to get close enough, that it gets on you, gets a little bit on you as well. And that's what happened, man. Santiago was
and so I really want to leave this last little bit, man, because we titled this that every blessing is a curse, and there may be some people that have some things to say about this last little passage. But here's what the merchant said to Santiago as we kind of end the chapter. He said that he understands something that he didn't see before. He said, every blessing ignored becomes a curse. I don't want anything else in life, but you are forcing me to look at wealth and at horizons I have never known. Now that I've seen them, and now that I see how immense my possibilities are, I'm going to feel worse than I ever did before you arrived, because I know the things that I should be able to accomplish, and I don't want to do so. And Miss Ward said that change is the most frightening thing, one of the most frightening things to do, and we must get out of our comfort zone. And I think his perspective of being forced to change, being forced to see new possibilities, and then his reaction to that is that, it's going to automatically make me be even more disappointed just because I never went after these big things that are actually in me. That is an interesting perspective, I think. And I think the curse that comes from the blessing is actually how you see the blessing. He could see it as, well, man, this is great. I've never seen it this way before. And man, these are new opportunities I've never explored. Let's do it. But he's seeing it as, because you've brought this into my life.
I gotta do more work. You get ready to make me work, man. Oh, but that's the New Year's resolution, right? That's you getting a personal trainer. And the personal trainer says, all right, look, in order for you to get these 25 pounds off you, this is what we're going to have to do. It's going to change your life. But in the interim, while we are working through this thing, while we're getting the 25 pounds off, We got to be on a disciplined diet. We got to wake up every morning at 5:30. You're going to have to pray a little bit. You're going to have to run in the evenings. You're going to have to do some cardio on Saturdays and Sundays. But it is going to change your life. It is in doing the work. We were talking about faith on the call last night, and faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, but it is your belief in action. And so faith, it takes you from what you believe and it moves you into your promise when you act on it. And so you got to act. You got to know that what's in here, you're going to act on it. And in acting on it, you get the thing that you want. Do the thing and you'll have the power. That's what we got to do. We got to do the thing. The merchant didn't want to do the thing, but as he said yes to the thing and then just stepped into it, his coast expanded.
So guys, what we want, and what we're doing, and I think many of us are, we're at a place now where we're allowing new people to come into our life. We're allowing this language of life, this language of enthusiasm, this language of passion and desire. We're allowing these people into our life to change our life. And hopefully, if you are the merchant, that you're still open to change, and you will say that it is written. And so the question I want to leave with you is, what is written about you? What is the next step that is already written that you just got to walk out? Let me repeat that again. What's the next step for you that's already written that you just got to walk out? Because the merchant told Santiago, it is written. So we got to do this thing. Because it's written, we just have to do it. There's no way that I can say no to this. We have to do it because it is written. And then therefore, we are going to move forward in the things that you have brought up to us because it's written. Not because I want to do them, not because I want to change, not because I want the business to grow and be more prosperous and make all this money. No. That's not the reason why I'm saying yes to the idea. The reason why I'm saying yes to the idea is because it is written. And because I believe in that which is written, we're going to move forward on this. My foundation moves me. My foundation, my core is what I listen to more so than I do my emotions, more so than I do my thoughts. He who is within me, if you have this type of life, if you have a belief, if you have a higher power, if you listen to the universe, you got to say to yourself that what he says or what the universe says is written. And that's more important. And that's what I'm going to follow more so than I follow my own thoughts, more so than I follow my own emotions. So what is written about you? What is the next step that's already written for you so that you can just walk it out? And regardless of how you feel, regardless of what you think that you want, will you walk out what's written about you?
That's so good. We have in my opinion, I think we have a personal obligation, not only to ourselves, but also to society as well. Peter Drucker was in his book, Managing Oneself. He talks about a few different things. One is that you have to know yourself. In order to improve yourself, you have to know yourself. The other thing is that you build on your build on your strengths. Too many times we think about trying to make our weaknesses our strengths, but at best, he says your weaknesses become average. So outsource the stuff that you're not good at. If you're not good at it, you're just not good at it, right? So build your foundation on something that's solid, something that's strong. Those are your strengths. Understand that. The other thing is that get comfortable with understanding your values. What things do you really believe in? And what drives you, what moves you and wakes you up every single day? What are the things that you just absolutely draw a line on? What are your ethics? What is the code that you follow? And if you know who you are, if you build on your strengths and you know your values, now you understand what kind of environment would be best for you. And then the last thing is that you got to make a contribution to society. You have to make a contribution to society. You got to leave this world better than it was before you got here.
And that's exactly what Santiago is doing. He's leaving the merchant in a better place than he was when he got there. And that's where we find ourselves. So guys, it is written, whatever it is that's written about you today, that's already set forth, whether it's the things that you wrote down that you were going to accomplish, whether it's the schedule that you wrote down that you need to follow, whatever it is that's written about you today, go out and walk it out. Walk it out. Walk it out. But go out, walk it out, man, and you're going to see that you'll find yourself in a place that you feel fulfilled because you actually walked out what was written. And so don't let the things that come into your life, allow blessings to happen, allow them into your life, and don't let them become a curse because you wouldn't allow them to take control of your life. And so it's absolutely phenomenal story. We are going to continue to move through this. Ms. Ward said, it is written that I write books to reconcile relationships. I speak, look at this affirmation. I speak internationally to men and women of influence about using their personalities to build healthy relationships. Absolutely phenomenal. So what's written about you? What's the things that you need to do and accomplish today? Whatever it is, if you need to reconcile a relationship, if you need to, get some work done on your business, if you need to plant some seeds into your future, into your fortune, whatever it is that's written about you today, make sure that you walk it out. And I think that if you do that each and every day, you'll find yourself continuing to have success. And what is success? It's progressive realization of your worthy ideal. One of the other things that was a part of this is that the old king, who is kind of like Santiago's mentor, or his almost like his God or whatever, his spiritual father, he said that you must always know what it is that you want. You must always know what it is that you want. And if you ever find yourself in a position that you don't know what you want, take a moment to get into your meditative space. Take a moment to get into your prayer life. Take a moment to get away from all of the noise so you can come back to what is it that I really want? Because it's only that you can only make progress towards what it is that you know what you want. So if you don't know what you want today, it's important that you recognize that so that you continue to move forward in your life. Follow us on wealthyhealthyhappy.net. That's a place for you to go. And if you don't know what it is that you want in life, don't feel like you're making progress, reach out to us. We have a beautiful opportunity for you to take advantage of a program called Future by Design. We're going to help you design the next 5 years of your life, and we're going to help you to get on track so that you can continue to make progress. And what is progress? Progress is success, and we want you to have success. We want to partner with you in your success, and sometimes you need a Santiago in your life, so you can allow us to be that Santiago for you to help bring that fire back and to give you the new ideas, to freshness towards that which it is that you might that you think that you want to accomplish in life. And so this is our show today, man. We're actually almost ended on time, but that's okay. Again, remember this, guys, that it's not a me show, it's a we show. So if you ever feel like you got something that spoke to you and you want to jump into a seat, you can always do that. We'll be back again tomorrow at 7 a.m. Same bat time, same bat channel, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. We're doing this. We'll continue on in The Alchemist. And so that's our show today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being supportive. Thank you so much for continuing to show up. Mr. Beatles.
Thank you. Go out today and crush it. I mean, like kill it today. Do that thing. Do the thing and have the power. Don't let nothing stop you. Period. This is Beatles. We are wealthy. We're healthy. We're happy.
We out. Have a good day, guys.
We out.